follow-up question is, so give us a couple jobs most at risk.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you the one that I think is actually content moderator. So jobs, what I've really seen is jobs that you kind of didn't want human judgment there in the first place, right? You really just wanted a set of rules that could be followed, and you kind of wanted a computer to do it. But and content moderation, I think, is just a difficult thing. Like, I think we've all read about people having to read these pretty horrible posts and decide, is this thing sufficiently horrible or just slightly not sufficiently horrible to be disallowed? And that's something I already see this technology impacting.
So that might be a good segue into the future of truth, right? Because I think we're entering this really fascinating, exciting, and scary era of you have the rise of deepfakes, these automated chatbots that could have the ability to persuade someone one way or the other. What happens to truth in an era where AI just makes fiction so believable?
Well, I have a slightly spicy take here, which is that I think technology has not been kind in a lot of ways to journalism. And I think that AI and this particular problem might actually be something that is quite kind and actually really reinforces the need for authoritative sources that can tell you this is real, right? We actually went out, had humans investigate this, that we looked at all the different sides of this thing, and this is actually, these are authenticated videos or whatever it is that can tell you what happened and what the facts are. And so I think that where we're going to go is away from a world where, because certainly you saw some text somewhere that you can trust it's true, it's never really been the case. Humans have always been very good at writing fake text. Images, doctored images, those have existed since the invention of photography.
But this gives us the ability to do this at viral speed.
100%.
Right? All the bad things that happened over the last decade, if we're not careful, this will amplify.
Yes, and I think this to me, I agree with this, right? I think this is kind of the crux, is that the fact of being able to do these things at all, not new. The fact of being able to do it with a much lower barrier to entry, that's new, and that will, I think, spark the need for new solutions. We've never had real answers for sort of chain of custody of information online. We've never really had verified identities. All these things people talked about since the beginning of the internet, but I think there was never really a need for it. Yeah. And I think the need will come. Yeah,
I was at an event for the folks for the Center for Humane Technology. They're the folks who did also the Social Dilemma, which in my opinion, Social Dilemma was great, but it's we've been having these conversations for 10 years before Netflix puts out a doc and asks these questions, right? So we're at the beginning of an interesting era, and we should ask these questions before we have to do a sexy doc on it in 10 years. So there was something that was said there that I thought was really important. They said that 2024 will be the last human election, meaning by 2028, we will see synthesized ads, viral information powered by artificial intelligence. Someone releases a Biden-Trump filter, tens of millions of videos are going out there. We don't know who's saying what. So what can be built now? What has to happen now, in your opinion, to get ahead of what will be the inevitable downside of this?
Yeah, so I think this is a great question, and I think this is maybe also going to be a tip of an iceberg kind of problem, where it's it's the most visible one. It's clearly extremely impactful. It's one that has been very topical for a long time. But I think that we're going to see the same questions appearing across all sorts of human endeavor, of just as there's more access to creation, how do you sift through for good creation? How do you actually find what is true, or find what is high quality, or how do you make sense of it? I think some of this is really going to be about what people building good tools. We've seen this within, I think, the social media space. Even, for example, people building tools for cyber harassment, to make it so that people can easily block, various efforts and things like that. And I think that we need lots of tools to be built here that are really tackling this problem. And so that's one reason that we don't just build ChatGPT, the app. Actually, our main focus is building a platform. So we release an API. Anyone can use this to build applications. And I think that you have an opportunity, some using traditional technology, some using the AI's technology itself, in order to actually sift through and figure out what is high quality curated, and people want to put their stamp of approval on it.